like I said, really the only thing that you can like accidentally stream is the fact of like connecting like your hand to like your own brain, because it's like, watch out if you like stream like a wish, you like might accidentally like make words mean something or whatever. I guess I got it though. Don't know what else to do all day when it's like my brother's walking around just talking about like competing with me, basically. It's like, hey, can we do something fun? No, because it's like there's something to get. Obviously, I don't get it, man. Either that or we're like both spinning at such like a fast rate that it's just like the world has made this sense of like order in the family be like just dealing with chaos every time you come into somebody else's orbit or something, basically. So seriously, it's just like, what is there to get every day here? Like, I wouldn't have such a problem with it if it wasn't that like my visual and like auditory and like my immediate like experience of like sense connected more with like my obvious like sort of baseline sense, but it doesn't. Like such an imbalance, basically. I like try to type it up on like my Facebook page today, even. It's like whatever. I'll like try to like reason it out. Tried. Doesn't really help. Like saying it. All I came to like conclude was like it's just a matter of time. Can't really do anything. Surprisingly enough, I haven't played this game in like 5 years. It's just like get on and it's like I know all the hotkeys and everything. Seriously though, I haven't played in like 5 years. But it's like I'm like a better rank than I was ever when I like played it consistently. That's just like the relativity of life for you. It's just like go somewhere that's like extremely serious and it's like watch out, somebody there is like getting away with something. Like it's serious for a reason. That's just life, I guess. Doesn't really help anyone's case like saying that though, especially mine. Especially when it's like just been like arrested on stream for like for what I think is like no reason, unless like in the future I like got somewhere and like I'm trying to like pull myself towards that. It's the only like real type of sense you can make of that experience at all. But it's like obviously that's ridiculous for the moment anyways. Yeah, everyone's over here fiddling around, cool. Fiddler's Cove over there, Fiddler's Canyon. Watch out for what I can do with my hands. I'm like really good with them. Obviously. Like extremely good. I can like make paper into lions and stuff. In like the world's worst environment possible for any living thing. Seriously. It's like something I really just did like 2 weeks ago. If you like see a paper lion living there, you like should probably watch out. Especially if its face looks like it's a human, but it's like you can tell that it's not a human. It like might be a really serious place. And it's like the only thing that I feel like I can do to like not get in trouble is like make origami. Cause I like don't want to get shot. And like don't want to like move around a corner and like surprise somebody with a gun. I'll just like sleep all day, except for then all of a sudden I'm like way out of baseline when it's like I get out of that place. Again, it's like even more. But at least I can like make amazing things with my hands. At least, right? I might just go play basketball. Like seriously, it's like to the point where it's like I'm like gonna like shoot hoops to like kill time during the day. Like seriously, you guys wanna know where I am at? Like at this point, I will literally go and like not for the like sake of like practicing to like get on any sports team or anything like that, but just because it like holds like that amount of like intention to be able to just like go and like try to navigate the bounds of like feeling and like the different senses. Like I will literally just go and like shoot a basketball by myself now just because of that reason. When it's like so bad that it's like the names that I'm being called like on the playground, like at the house, is like the world's worst names possible. I'm gonna like go and run sprints in my backyard around the playground so it's like I can run away from the bullies or whatever. What's this guy doing? Almost. But yeah, like I'll just go and like shoot hoops. So I'm like not even really trying to get better. It's like it's like that's like cool. I could get like really good at basketball, but it's like seriously, nothing makes sense in my reality at all anymore other than just like having like personal strength, like work in like the public sector like makes no sense, and it like just creates more questions as to like what are like the best like beliefs. Like politics has reformatted itself into beliefs. Like if you come up with your own politics, it's like you better be able to like take it to death, otherwise like you won't have like good policies internationally. So at this point it's like, wait, like what do you believe in? And it's like obviously it does create like a missense of like the idea of what work is. But it's like, do people really think I enjoy like just sitting in my house and like watching TV and stuff? No, not really. A basketball hoop is like your best friend. Why? Because it's like sorry other sports, but at this point basketball is like the sport because you don't have to like chase things around the better you get at it. It's like every other sport you require like so many other people and stuff like that, but basketball not really. Like pumping a ball, like whine until you get the ball, the pump, and like a hoop. But like other sports, like I have to like chase stuff around, and like it's like so bad. And it's like the idea at the gym is like just that whole idea of politics and policy and everything, but it's like formatted to belief, which means that you can't really convince anybody of like anything different other than like what they have to like stick with at this point. It's like it's just so terrible. And like the idea that the body changes is just like obviously you should change like how you approach the gym, which is just like careful if you like go there and like elaborate gear to like try to say like, well, you guys say the body changes, like I have to change. You like might have to take your beliefs and like whatever it is that you took there with you to like death. It's like I can say that like reasonably right now, but all I really probably am to anyone else is just a ball. Like you hold it in your hand and it's like, are you spinning or is the ball spinning? What kind of balls? Like how fast you're spinning. Relative. Radians per second. Which is just like saying like what you're trying to go for. It's like I'm just a compass at this point. What's the point to like say what you want? But if like you're at that point yourself as like an experiential being, then you better just say that it's just like, yeah, I'm like just playing for fun. If I get better, I get better. That's cool. The idea of just like pleasure to the extreme is like the worst thing you can possibly do at this point. Like with experience, just like anything that promises like the idea of like extensive pleasure with like little motion is obviously a contradiction of thought, so much so just the other way. It's like, I'm sorry, anybody who believes in that, anything that. Careful, I just like straight up did another like, obviously you could live by these words, but it's like not even a religion of anything. It's just like a guy who's just been in like so much pain and like sorrow that what else does he have to say but like, you know, what got him through like the hardest times possible, and it's like still fresh on the, you know, like the wounds are still healing. Why would I lick my wounds? Well, it's dumbest statement. Unless you have like literally no other way to clean something. What is this guy thinking? Well, the stream's like running like perfectly now. I guess I just had to change the setting in OBS. It's just like can't be like too random or like too much of just like I know what I'm doing without thinking about it or like clicking the right button or taking a certain amount of time or something. It's like saying that you know how to do League of Legends like IRL. I'm not saying that you can't, but it's like you might put yourself in some form of like objective perspective if you have the ability to do that, and like there are like people that are in like a super comfortable place that are like godlike or whatever. They might be kind of hard to look at. So then it's just like, can you do that and say that you're doing that without just like doing it the same way that everybody else is? But then you've just like lost to time again. What's this guy thinking? Is he gonna come at me? Probably. Tell you something that almost doesn't make sense. Why like does the other team not surrender? Unless it's like all for one, one for all, when it's like obviously the game's like in your favor. But it's like when the game's obviously not in your favor, like the game never goes to surrender. It's like, is everyone really playing, or again, is it all just a matter of time? How much skill is there? Is there like really skill in waiting? Is that like the ignorance of strength or something? Are you gonna try to attack me? Yeah. Think I'm gonna take me? Probably. I guess. Guess I'm super weak. Really, I am right now. I'm like so weak. I just like want to go back to like elementary school, like actually literally elementary school, but as long as like everybody is seeing that much and I can like say that's how everyone's doing it, is just by going to elementary school. I would right now, with like how horrible my life is, how much pain and suffering there is in it, and like what, like nothing good can happen. Like watch out for like what else has happened to the rest of the family as well. It's not just me at this point. It's terrible. Watch out though, you can literally still only like go and just like play basketball by yourself for like no reason for so long before it just like your hands get feeling disgusting and stuff. What a world. Like all the bad sayings that everybody has about like a lot of this stuff is kind of to this point like, why is this guy like so much better than me? Like in hand to hand, it's like, shouldn't I have been given like some ultra buffs for like having taken him out like twice? Might just leave my tower now. Scarecrow, dude. I'm like not trying to compete with anybody about that stuff, but like that's genuinely how I feel right now. Competing with people about pain and suffering is the dumbest thing you can do ever. You might as well say there's a guy who exists that has no pain and suffering, but it's like he can like beat it. Cause like he can't experience it or something. Or does that just like create more problems? Like seriously, what in the world? Like, why is that guy like super strong? Or is it, do we really even know what we're fighting? And they're just, so they just put him as like some weird creepy scarecrow guy. Or whatever. I probably made him mad. What's with this like wolf above my head or whatever? Careful, I seriously just made like a video. It's like, I'm not just like saying like short quips, like I provided like lengthy reasoning behind my stuff. It's like, where does it go on the internet even? well, we're getting wrecked now. It was like there was a little bit of favor in our direction at the beginning. Do I just keep playing because I'm streaming though? Probably not. What am I really up against? Just like natural order. Cool name. You look really serious. Everybody here looks really serious. That guy could be a, like, some aspect to him. I'm like so kerfuddled by everything that it's like, that could have been him. I like try to manage everything with like, yeah, I'm like really good with my hands. I'll like make 2 points that sort of matter to like even to like my sense of the ESPN. It's like nothing else looks like what I did on the like complete internet anywhere. Dude, we're gonna lose that battle, dog. We're gonna lose that. If it happens, it happens, but I'm like not gonna push any buttons. Run away, dude. I don't know what the point of the sacrifice is for, dude. Like, thanks for the help, or at least trying, though. If I had to say something. Like, is everybody just versus the worst player? But then, it's like, how is it the game that it is? So many thoughts. I don't think it's possible to beat it. It's the greatest feeling. It's like everybody's like just a slave to that. But at some point, even that like has like an error to it. Well, it's just like there's no proof of anybody else. Watch out for how much you balance out that one though. Especially if you want to be the best. Yeah, dude, that guy just wrecked us. It's like not my computer. It's like probably just some bad idea that I made at one point in time. But I can like confidently say I was like never trying to like get into trouble though. Which is like the dumb thing. Or just like some idea that if my decisions matter that much, then why would I like be a victim of them? Which is stupid. That brings up the whole idea as to whether or not everything in reality is a lie. You probably like use that to like get over this, but then you'll just be like a victim of like you just feel bad because like you're old and like it's just a matter of time. Yeah, the guy, he just like feels bad because like he's like worn out and like dying on the inside. Like has nothing to do with like a lot of things. He's just like feels like he's dying and stuff. It's like not like he's like losing anything other than just like the like his body's just like withering and decaying. Probably whoever the heck the lion person was. It's like this person right here, right? The hell? Yeah, I like participated in like something that's like unreal. It's like you can like do like the easiest of things and like have it be like say that. They're really just gonna like hand me out some like pop out of word of like that has like no relation to like anything in my reality of just like me participating in like some event. But it's like psych, like you just like participated in like a side thing of like the chaos of like 1,000 things we give out to like everybody, because it just like is like the year of that. Congratulations, it's like you're like living in the year 2024 or whatever. It's like if anybody made it that far, it's like that's what it is. Yeah, it's like I'm just like social networking because it's like who, you know, even streams on it, and it's just like following the idea. It's like if I've reduced all this stuff down to that, then it's just like not everyone is just like over here who like is like doing live stuff and not just like edited videos or whatever. Not one comment of anything. Why am I like not broadcasting myself over like a webcam? Because it's like, I don't know. What was the reason for something happening like a little bit ago? Is it just like superstition at this point though? Like to relegate like bad experiences to like the idea that it's like the outcome is bankable? Is it better to remain more anonymous from the beginning? To give up things to the idea that like change is something that is like the most universally bankable kind of idea. So the more I remain behind a screen of change, the better it is. Especially if you're trying to do something that's like universal or relative, which is the irony of like dealing with family members at this point. Just like you better have it be like universally relative. So dumb. Especially if you're like a good person. Like me. Except for this guy, he like charges up the same way, kind of, as I do. Not like me though, like, not like I'm like the guy on the screen, you know? Bro, how you doing so much damage? Or is it just like I'm just like holding on to like my position like here, and it's like that's what's relating? Guess I didn't die. Horrible though, I had to use that already. It's like Usopp up there. I get such a kink in my neck playing video games. I don't know why, it's like I'm just like staring straight. Bro, I'm like dead again. Can't help you, man. You can like go against him if you want, but run. And it's like I can't connect with anybody about any of the stuff that I'm like saying, except for like an inanimate object that is like so complicated that it like allows like this experience. Is it really inanimate? I don't know. At this point in time, I could like say I love my computer. Watch out, Kip. I could like say that because of just like how horrible my life is. Like my inability to connect with like anything else. Yeah, I'm like in love with my computer. It's like the only thing I can be in love with at this point. This guy's, like, to me, he smells like mosquito repellent. If that was like the most foreign kind of scent. Because it's like you only use it like when you're like out in the wilderness. So it's like actually like a very valuable scent. And it like has a purpose as like a scent. You've like never heard it before. Here on like a Twitch stream that's obviously gonna be like, dude, gonna like go nowhere. The guy just like dispelled the universe if anybody actually listened, but then they would be like have to be like taken over completely by the thought of it. They'd be like inanimate at that point. To be like sniffing mosquito repellent. But like doesn't make sense to wear it at all if unless you're like really away out there, far away from like anything anything that you know. Signature sense. Watch out for anybody who says I stink, but they don't take anything that I've said into consideration. It's like my whole body's like out of order. Like I might as well like walk around with a shirt that says like out of order on it, and like take it literally and metaphorically, because like that's it. Like I could like say that and like go along with everybody's like insults as to like, yeah, he was just like made wrong, basically, is what everybody's like saying, because it's like, oh, thanks for like telling me that I have problems that I can't deal with, except for like through some like hyper advanced like form of like suffering and pain that's like has to be like instigated through forms of loss of control at different stages with people that I have no idea who are, that obviously don't listen to any of this. Thanks! That's obviously sarcastic and completely against anybody who would agree with that statement. Staying alive. Somehow. It like makes sense, like for me really right there, saying that. I'm sorry to anybody who's like going through a similar thing as me. Sorry if it doesn't help you, me saying that. If it does, you're welcome. Is there anything that anybody's like already dreading that they just know is coming that's like obviously like has like so little to do with like any of this stuff, but it's like just on the horizon? I could like name a few things. Run, bro. Seriously, run. Just out of reach, like a millimeter out of reach from that guy. Probably because he stinks horribly because he hasn't like changed his clothes in like forever or like molted in this guy's case. It's like his armor is like super powerful. No, he's just, everyone stays away from him because he like stinks. What was that for? I don't know. Was it something I said? I can probably say that. Or is it just like common courtesy within the game? I don't know. Does anything I said make its way to like my hands? I'm like really good with my hands, obviously. Or basically. It's like my most basic part in regards to this world of just like innumerable amounts of like beings with obviously different parts. Yeah, like everybody's like super smart. And you should probably just respect everybody. There's like a moment of like the pain leaving for a second. Is he really gonna come me here? I should watch out for this guy, dude. I don't even trust the tower to protect me from that guy. Oh. I like went there to support you, dude. I thought you could like do more damage or take more damage than that, but guess not. Come on. Obviously meant to buy that. Well, someone on their team is doing good, and I'll probably make up for that at some point. It just means like maybe I need to like go rely on something else for a minute. Nothing kills time than like playing like 12 matches though in a day and like having them each be over an hour and just like there's your day. Apparently. Told you I'd make up for it. Anyone listening? Anyone out there? Especially if like you live with people you like might not want to make much of a deal out of it, otherwise like why would you get computer time? Sort of makes sense. So stupid. But I guess I just have to live with it. Boing. Good thing even if the weather's nice, you like there's like nowhere to go around here and like do anything without like getting in trouble. It like really is the Wild West. You'd like better have a reason for everything unless you like want to deal with everything. And usually the worst always happens with everything. Some guy who's like has his back against like some wall. You know, I'm loading up 12 shells right now. I have no idea what I'm going up against or what your plans are, but it's basically reduced to 50-50 no matter what. Especially if I'm up against something formidable. are all these those things? How is it reduced to 50-50? That one's easy. It's like illogical to like be in a spot you can't deal with. Basically. There are more playful answers. There are like way more playful answers to say why, like, if you're good enough, everything just gets reduced down to like 50-50. And like even then you can like split the hair of just saying like if you're losing to a 50-50 bout, you can always just say like I give up. Why? Because if you were like anything that like already didn't like take the position, then it's already telling me that there's like ideas of power that are questionable. And if obviously like the idea of power is like questionable, then it's like really you can just say that everything is like 50-50. Like that's what apples always lead to, which is why people play that one game in terms of like every chivalry kind of like experience of like competition of the best there ever was. Careful, like makes sense, but in the moment, can you like actually think that and say that? The fact that you're here tells me that like there's obviously like some room. And like if you're able to even hear anything I'm saying, like I can just say the word scared and like you're about as much scared as the word itself. What happened to the guy on our team who was like doing good? Thought we had this one. Like really can't face anybody though right now. If I'm like smart. Which is an obvious out. Courage. It's like 50-50. at that point in time, the worst thing that can happen if you really are good in like all uses of the word is like you just give up. Because it's like a matter of if you're on the side of good or not. What is good though? That's like a debatable one. Let me tell you, the easiest spin of that one is like okay to like have a significant other. It's like the easiest quandary to like create over like the side of good that there ever was. Well, I didn't give him that much. So I mean, this guy tried to help. This guy was doing fine. I don't know what these two did that much. I don't know who was like doing good on the team. Whatever, if anyone's listening to my voice, that's what I said. I wasn't like that aware of whatever they were doing. I like saw Lux once and that was it. I don't know what anyone in here considers winning. Is it all just a numbers game? If that's the case, like, why am I not just like working on like string theory or whatever? Sure, this game isn't called Big Bang Theory. I'll like read my like mode, my like policy right now. Cause like what, I'm live on the internet in front of millions at like some event. Here's like my politics. My initial thoughts are that the obvious nature of concern is the first and foremost question in regards to events to point out, that being that according to the severity of the problem at hand, if I am to be rational at all about the loss of control, if one could be, would be that long-term care is not obviously being brought up in regards to this scenario, what obviously brings into question the severity of the acts involved. Where since this is not obviously the case, my next observation would be that, given the circumstance about the system at hand, if I was to opt out of the diagnoses and tunnel observations, which I should say probably has a little truth, but is obviously a miss to more truth, I would say the institutions involved here have to remain as much a bystander as possible if they want to keep a title as broad and expansive as they do, to incite the authoritative nature that they do. What obviously gives me the option to opt out of something that I do not think serves my plans nor my best interests before the idea of authority and wrongdoing of any kind reverts all the way back to the basic and most general idea of survival of the fittest, or moral and ethical nature of being a part, a whole, or individual, up until ideals are akin to the future. But is the best future just not right because it is a lie? That is what I believe about your actions in regards to mine, the whole, and yours. Sincerely, Austin Hyde, AH, or my signature that looks like a roller coaster, or the one that looks like I'm Greek. What are my other ones? Austin Hyde. Somewhere around 424 or 2024. Phases of man. Does man ever change? Does man come from or go to? Is a phase change? Is man phasing a phase? All the expressions of what a man could be in all the realms of what has been written on man, if treatise is what sounds intelligent at this time, rather than some elaboration on a nuanced thought, that could land big. Does treatise land small? Needs of man and many. Does a man only need what he knows? Then where does knowing come from? Perhaps in an instant man could say that he needs God as a first need, if man only needs what he knows. And in an instant, as a first need, man and many share the same need. What does man need of many and many of man? Do numbers lie? If so, many seems to be a lot less of an abstraction, but less similar to man, an abstraction still. Are the numbers composed of men? What else are the numbers composed of besides man? In that instance, the idea of relationship and affirmation could be completely based off of things as affirmation of conversation. Before we question what man is, by which point I would say the converse between man, many would be loud. What conversation is needed if conversation is the first need of man and many? If God is many words, as many say, then is the only need a converse between man and many? Where one conversation could be what word is needed, but then have we said God is less words? Is God singular? Singular what? If we say a place has enough history, then the right word definitely makes a difference in the right place, putting one word up against many for a time, where singular what would be the insertion of one and many rephrased in this circuit. I think I really believed in what I was saying. If the idea of normalcy is in any way related to the known ideas of betterment, where the idea of betterment is not related to the idea of normalcy, for basic character, where basic character is the idea of betterment, in a last word scenario, does not the place of betterment represent a last word case, where the last word doesn't point to the idea of the knowledge of betterment? Is it a better place? It's like what I died for recently, basically. Careful, that makes sense to me, saying that like that, probably here and there. At least I was getting experience. Well, this is how it looked for me on the other side going up, but in the opposite perspective. So you never know. It was like that. Well, this one's over whenever it can be. Why'd you go after the scholar, dude? Couldn't you like tell I was like reading a magic book? It was like spellbinding. You might have just like accepted some term, like engaging me. If I had to say something silly. Just run away, dude. That's like my policy. And somebody on here is not going to. Even though we're like down. Imagine like being in love with your computer, but it's like you built it. Or you're like worked up to it. You might just like fear it. If that's the case. Because like, what does it think love is? Especially something that like relegates this experience. And like somehow like has a graphical direction where it's like, how is anybody even supposed to know how to like navigate this? Is it like that close to like instinct? This is honestly probably the best computer setup I've ever had in my life, though. If anybody wants to know. What's like the next stage of this? Probably like an entire bank. Like a bank of computers. Computer bank or something. Or a wall. Which would be like more of like a headquarters kind of stuff. Trevor, the guy who sort of like understands my reasoning. Like if I had a brother very, 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 very far away, it was just like, I'll do anything twice. Why? Because like you're already saying that there's like enough chance involved. It's like everything that's like ridiculous, like obviously doesn't have a place. To some extent, and you'd think if you'd done it once, you'd know how to prepare for it better. It like normalizes everything, like doing it more than once. Or makes it have just as many lines as like the idea that you're doing like something for potential gain that has no risk involved. I'm like not gonna say anything. The hell? See? Is it real? Is it like real? Well, what are you actually doing? Just like talking. Oh, it's like means nothing. Oh, it's like real, but like no one else can see it. Means nothing. Well, that's it for that. guys want to know what my bathroom thoughts were? Like, maybe one of these days I'll actually be good at lying. Like, I knew what everyone actually really wanted or what life was actually about. Is it lying then at that point in time? But if I was actually really good, would I need to do that? Am I not? Is anybody gonna like say anything? Careful. Like, I'll say this stuff in front of like a judge and jury, and like nobody will still say anything. They'll just like hammer something and leave. Seriously, I've been there. At least I got it working. It's like a little victory. The fact that I even got it working. If I like got it working though, did I like make it? Watch out for the makers of everything, like whoever made the game and whoever made the program, whoever made the software, whoever made the computer. It's like the idea that talent and skill of like relativity is like all the same, especially if you didn't do it. But if you did, then you probably are really good at like making everything relative, especially with something like this. You would think it's like humor feeds off of humor kind of thing. Where are all the funny people at? I can like say things really relative and out of time that's like funny to me. It's cool to draw 4 arrows like that. What's the shape right in between all the arrows though? Do they make it in this a specific shape? I think I saw it right there. It's just a square. Whoa, what just happened? Wait, he can't like all of a sudden just like completely demolish me like every other time I've been on stream. All of a sudden, like the game just is some orbit of ideas kind of thing. This guy might actually be playing the same game. Drop for his little chicken move or whatever it is. That. Wait, now someone can like run away across the whole map? Alright, why don't you just go up? Probably because he's leading you into a trap. Really just come in here like that though? Everything's so new, it's like slippery. Probably enjoy it while it lasts. This guy has like zero style. So hack and slash. But I think that's why people play him though. If you could like use a sharp weapon in like the most blunt manner possible, it's like, oh, it's only meant to cut. That's like the definition of like not being sharp. Sort of. He can still get away though. And obviously enough people play him. Is this like not ridiculous now though, with like someone just coming out of nowhere and just like demolishing me? At least I managed that. Good thing nobody like talks in this game anymore, I guess. It's like, is it still the same game even? I'd probably take everybody's advice though at this point. would he do that? The dude's strong. And like the character has like style. I don't know about like the move sets that much. I don't know, maybe they do. Maybe it's like the epitome of like an opinionated style. It's like obviously he does stuff. He's opinion pine. Those are definitely way more my style. Watch out for the criticism, especially if it's not like from the world's best. But if it's from the world's best, it's like, who am I? Well, who knows? Looked like we could have taken this one. Again, in the beginning. League of Legends? Are you sure it's not just like internet service providers? I had to like make the dumbest joke ever. That'd be my really idiotic League of Legends joke. You sure it's not just internet service providers? Like I said, I've really only had like 100 conversations on the internet over like 20 years. They were like good. I'm not talking about experiences in general. That's like a lot. But like watch out for how like callous or casual the word general is. It might be like the worst conversation that you actually consider like a good conversation though. That's why I titled it just like social networking on my title. No, the timing of that was horrible. It's okay. Didn't try. I'm not gonna like go up against you. You have about the same amount as much of life as I do. And you're like in the bushes. Well, I could have thrown him into the tower. I had a feeling you were up in there still. Should do that on you. Get back. What, does he have a pet? How do you get that? Well, I like tried to mitigate that. The old man, all he wants is for it to rain, especially if he like has the world's nicest house. Come on, bro. Don't misclick like that. One misclick and I had to use a flash. Because my mouse is so slick. Took my tower? Really? Something fair somewhere else. Watch out for the guy who's just playing fair, especially if it's someone says that something's fair somewhere else that isn't fair here because of experiences there. You probably still have to watch out for whoever that guy is. You never know what their game is. Like they're the only one who knows what fair is. Oh yeah, there's the id, the ego, and there's the fair. The id is trying to get out. But the ego feels like it already knows it. And the fair, like, if you're not it, you don't get it. Kind of slow if I can do that. I should have been able to get away right there. Especially since if I jumped over that like that. Should have just went towards the tower. Or jumped over and went and cut that corner right there down. Whatever. Someone on the team is doing good. Listen, if you did compare my words, like, sure, I'm still saying, like, good stuff, but if you compared my speech patterns with, like, before, it's like, there's slurs and there's, like, words that are cut off and stuff like that because of probably fear or, like, wounded. I've been wounded, like, right there. You should be able to tell. Or, like, right there. With, like, my inability to pronounce the word B in between, you should be able to tell. You can tell I've been hurt, or you should be able to. If not, I should really watch out for you. I really probably shouldn't name any names. What a complicated triangle. I wonder if it goes back to a triangle. How many times can you use that? Like, I think this guy did good. Whoa, what does it all mean? Watch out for if, like, you win pops up on the screen. Like, how relative is that? It's like the world's smallest form of currency there ever was that, like, relates. I think that one's new. I'm, like, consciously participating. this is for like teamfight tactics, little teamfight tactics guy. Watch out for how like complacent observer this game can become. Like a conscious observer, especially in like teamfight tactics. You're just like watching the world's smallest form of smoke ever. This is like saved up over like 5 years. You guys want to see? You guys want to know what like saved up over like 5 years comes out to be? Like here it is. $40. Blue essence. It's probably the smartest thing to spend it into. The skin for that guy. I'm like not gonna push the wrong thing there. Hey, look at him. Does he got like kids now? I think he just like wants it to rain. I have not enough to get that guy. Shaco. Must like disenchant some of this stuff. Get a new champion. Go for the wolf. Actually, this do I have 0? But it doesn't show me what I have. Where's that at though? No, I just want to see my other icons. Oh, down here. 270. 270 doesn't matter if I disenchant that. I can't get anything. Can't get anything of those. I have no idea what this even means. Eternals. I could pick one of these. If I was to try and just play smart, I should just pick this guy. He's like kind of like my main guy that I play anyways. Looks bright, but like there's like still stuff going on. do I have, huh? I have quite a few. There was a time I played quite a bit. It's like a different wolf. I don't think it was that guy. Who was it? A Rumble? Who's the other one? It's like a wolf. Like a very long wolf. This is obviously like the newest champion I can unlock. Think anyone's gonna remember everything that I've said during this stream? Like, I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Hound of 100 bites. What do these activatable things mean? Or they don't have misfortune? Guess not. Could have sworn I got this guy though. What's my play? Probably just chill on all this for a minute. I can get more of these and then maybe unlock somebody that... Or I could unlock that one guy. But I got Rumble. Sell everything and just unlock him because I like unlocked the eternal set of it. Or whatever. How's that for just like playing with what you can? The idea that like it's just about being able to see where things are going. Well, might call that.